Case 1. Miss Tanquil has appeared in court to prove that along with her other 4 kids, her ex-partner, Mr. Nelson, is also the biological father of her youngest kid, Jackie. She tells the court that he started to deny her son only when he got married to Miss Campbell.
The only thing that I can think of is because he recently got married.
But Mr. Nelson says that it is not about his marriage, but about Miss Tanquil's cheating, which led him to doubt the paternity of Jackie. He also tells the judge that while he took care of the kids at home, Miss Tanquil would spend time at places other than her office, and that she was seeing someone other than him.
But I was not sleeping with different men. Mr. Nelson was the only one that I was sleeping with at the time, especially during my conception dates.
Miss Tanquil and Mr. Nelson were best friends, and they also had a very good time being partners. But according to Miss Tanquil, things started to change only when she found that Mr. Nelson was interested in another woman. She wanted to sort out the things in her relationship because she wanted to make sure her children get all the attention and support, including herself. Well, that's what a faithful woman always does, isn't it?
He gave up the relationship. I wish it was that easy for me during them times to just throw it away.
Well, that's what a faithful woman always does, isn't it? Mr. Nelson tells the judge that Jackie could be the son of the man who Miss Tanquil had been seeing because she tracked her ovulation cycle on her phone during the times when Mr. Nelson left her and she slept with the other man. But Miss Tanquil denies it and mentions that it was her and Mr. Nelson's consensual decision to have another baby.
When I got back from North Carolina, I had went through her phone. She was like, every time I had sex with him, and this is after you left, I started having sex with this guy. So I was like, all right.
Miss Tanquil claims that she only slept with the other guy when Mr. Nelson left her. However, he thinks that she cheated on him during their relationship. According to her, Mr. Nelson had been very excited when he first found out about her pregnancy, but as he met Miss Campbell, he started accusing her of pinning the baby on him. Miss Tanquil also says that he has been sleeping with her, despite being in a relationship with Miss Campbell.
I have text messages also that we still mess around, still to this day.
Oh, you mighty quiet now, Mr. Nelson.
Mr. Nelson admits that he had slept with her during his relationship with Mr. Campbell, but he also says that his wife knows about it and he has apologized to her. Miss Campbell caught their sex video, which Mr. Nelson thought he had deleted. Now we know how Mr. Nelson happened to apologize to Miss Campbell because there was no other way he could feel the guilt until he got caught.
So, Mr. Nelson, your wife discovered a video of you having sex with your ex, now mistress.
Yes. No, I made a slip up.
Both women get into a heated argument. Miss Campbell calls Miss Tanquil a side chick because of still messing around with her husband. But Judge Lauren calms them down and reminds them that Mr. Nelson had been sleeping with both of them, pointing to the fact that Mr. Nelson has deceived both of them and that none of them are higher in status than the other.
You all confused. He's sleeping with both of y'all. Okay, so look, let's clear the air. Neither one of you are on a step higher than the other. Because you may now be his wife, but that's the mother of all his children and maybe another one. You all both look miserable.
Coming back to the baby's paternity, Mr. Nelson brings up a new argument, saying that why would he plan a baby with Miss Tanquil when they already had 4? That sounds pretty valid. But Miss Tanquil says that they decided to have a baby since Mr. Nelson thought she can't conceive due to birth control anymore. So the pregnancy was much like a try. After the paternity issue is sorted out, Miss Tanquil wishes to be left alone, as she says Mr. Nelson keeps coming back to her.
Let your marriage work. I'll try to move forward with my life. He texts me. He calls me and tells me how much he misses me and wants to be with me.
Mr. Nelson still denies going back to Miss Tanquil to date, but she shares a few text messages with the court to prove the fact.
These messages are dated from 3 weeks ago. So what is your plan for real? You the plan, he says. So are you really gonna leave her this time, you ask?
We can see how difficult it must be for Miss Campbell to find out Mr. Nelson has been sleeping with Miss Tanquil even till now, despite being caught red-handed before. Judge Lauren almost gets furious to find out how Mr. Nelson is manipulating both women. Miss Campbell becomes very emotional upon finding the truth about her husband. She must be regretting trusting him after the last time she caught him.
I can tell your wife did not know you were having those kind of conversations.
I mean, I just want to see if the baby mine so I can fix everything.
You just want to avoid this conversation.
Finding how complicated Mr. Nelson has made the situation, Judge Lauren cannot find a solution to their personal lives, but solves the question of the baby's paternity. And so she finally announces the DNA results.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Nelson, you are the father.
Case 2. Miss Robinson claims that her friend Miss Jackson ended their friendship as she slept with Miss Robinson's son, Mr. Chaplin. She is also angry because she believes that Miss Jackson actually seduced Mr. Chaplin and is now pinning someone else's child on him. However, Miss Jackson is in court to get justice for her daughter, as she claims that there is no way Mr. Chaplin couldn't be the father, as they have been intimate with each other regularly.
I'm absolutely sure I'm not the father, 100%
Explain.
positive. Because during the time that I knew her, we never was in a relationship. We was only friends throughout the entire time. Also, throughout the entire time, I've known her to talk to several other men.
Even Mr. Chaplin claims that he hasn't fathered this child. He says that Miss Jackson and he have always been friends and that she has been sleeping around with a lot of other men as well.
Me and Dominique was having sex numerous of times every day. Okay, so therefore, for him to say that I was sleeping with somebody else.
Miss Robinson says that as she belongs to the old school, she cannot tolerate the fact that her friend lured her son into having sex. She also tells the court that it was she who found Mr. Jackson with her kids in need of help, and so she supported and also befriended her. She complains that it is not fair to pay back someone who helped you by sleeping with their son.
Help her, I want to guide her.
Yes.
I want to empower her
Yes.
to do better and to raise her children.
Yes.
Throughout that process, you know you have a handsome son. Did you caution them and say, listen,
Not at that time, because I don't have friends that sleep with my damn children.
Mr. Chaplin admits having sex with her, but he denies being the father to the baby because he says that Miss Jackson went around with other guys and always introduced him as a brother to all of the other men she was seeing. Miss Robinson also opens up and says that despite the help, she always knew what kind of a woman Miss Jackson was. She claims that Miss Jackson had affairs with a lot of men, but since they were friends, Mr. Robinson had no reason to bring it up.
You ain't in the real world.
Girl, you
the
got
real
your
world
own
is
problems
this
to
girl.
worry about.
I'm just upset at the fact I knew that she trapped me.
It
By the
doesn't
time
matter.
I figured it out, it had to
Honey,
be too late.
Your son is grown.
Miss Jackson submits some text messages to the court to prove that Mr. Chaplin had accepted his child during the pregnancy. But Miss Robinson says that they confirmed the pregnancy and wanted to wait for the DNA results. In this serious moment, there is something that Miss Robinson says, and it makes the audience laugh.
I said, now come back and talk to me when you got Dana. I said, let's go see her.
who's Dana?
Dana is DNA.
Oh,
And that's what we're here for today, to see Dana, honey. And that's what we're here for today, to see Dana.
Miss Robinson claims that the baby belongs to a married man whom Miss Jackson had been in an affair with, while Miss Jackson reveals that it was Robinson who had been seeing a married man and couldn't get a chance to sleep with him. So all of it is a lie, and the baby's father is Mr. Chaplin.
Pay the child support too. Thank you, and your daughter, since y'all want to co-ride.
No problem.
Thank you.
all right.
We take the hours,
Yeah.
you see that.
The two hot-headed women make the courtroom noisy like a circus. This urges Judge Lauren to reveal the DNA results.
You are the father.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You in
Thank
trouble.
you.
You
Mr.